back. Welcome back to the podcast. It's me, Amaka. How are you guys doing? I'm doing well. Just got out of the gym. I've been running a little bit more as of late. Peloton has a really good exercise workout app with a whole bunch of different classes that go beyond just the bike and the treadmill. For me, I've been wanting to do a little bit more cardio, and I've been doing their walk run interval classes. So that's been good. I was at the gym. I did a quick 20-minute interval run workout, and I cooled down on the bike with a couple of miles. So that was my workout for today. What else is going on with me? Okay, swimming. Quick update on that. So I can officially swim now. Yay! I don't know if I said this on the last podcast episode, but I can now swim from one end of the pool to the other free stroke. Before this class started, I could go from one end of the pool to the other on my back, like floating, and then kind of like moving from one end to the other, because that's easy. Like, I'm not struggling in the water to breathe since my stomach is up. But now I'm able to swim free stroke, and I'm getting better with my breathing technique and just like my general moving technique. It's feeling more natural to me. My body is getting into, the zone quicker when it comes to what my body needs to do, what my muscles need to do, when it comes to my hips kind of generating power so I can propel forward. I don't really have to think about that as much anymore, fluttering my ankles. I don't really have to think about that. And then arm strokes in the water, I still need to work on that, but it's getting better. Still got to work on my technique, but my coach, like I've been saying this whole time, singing his praises, he's really great, really patient. And he says that I'm doing a good job, progressing well. I know how to free stroke now, just got to work on perfecting my technique. And, the more practice I do, the more natural it will feel, the faster I will get, the less breaks I'll need to take when it comes to breathing and getting back into putting my face back in the water. But it's all coming together, and I'm really so happy because I remember those first couple of classes, I was like, am I ever gonna get this? And my mind went as far as to think, maybe my body is not conducive for learning how to swim. I swear. Mind you, it was only class number 2. This just goes to show you how much pressure I can put on myself sometimes. Because I'm tall, and I tend to have a rather slim upper body, but I'm bottom heavy. I have thick thighs, thick legs, wide hips, big butt. That's my body. That's just naturally how I'm proportioned. So I don't know. I just started to think, I don't know, do I not have, the quote unquote right body to swim? And then, once I started realizing what I was thinking, I had to stop. I was like, come on, you need time. You just need time. You need time. You need practice. You are embarking on a new skill that is completely new and unnatural to you. Just like anything else in life, it takes time and practice. Cut yourself some slack. So, yes, now I can free stroke, and I'm able to swim one end of the pool to the other. I'm able to turn my head at the appropriate time, open up that air pocket, get a quick breath in, and then turn back for a few more strokes, and, keep doing that until I get to the other end of the pool. So I'm really proud of myself, and I really appreciate my coach for his guidance throughout this journey. Right now, we are working on the breaststroke, which I'm not a fan of. I just gotta be honest with that. I am not a fan of the breaststroke. It just, the way that you just have to kind of contort your body to perform that style of swimming, I'm like, why? Who made this up? Who created this? Why do we need this? So I have 2 classes left, and we're probably just going to focus on that technique and, just keep practicing the free stroke. Unless he has anything else up his sleeve. Who knows? But yeah, swimming is going well, and I'm very happy with my progress. So I didn't give you guys kind of like a verbal picture of where I am. I'm at the park, but I'm not where I typically am in the park. I am recording on Memorial Day weekend, particularly the Monday, Memorial Day. So the park is not as free and as empty as it typically is. Also, too, I typically try to get out in the morning and record these episodes, just get them out of the way before the park just generally gets busier. But it didn't work out that way today. So I am at the park at about 3-ish, within the 3 o'clock hour. It's busy. It's at the height of the holiday. So where I usually park is full. And there's kind of like an overflow lot that is under the highway. So a lot of the cars that didn't find parking in the main park are parking in like the overflow parking area under the highway. So that's where I am right now, actually. And I mean, it's quiet. If you guys hear kind of cars passing or kind of like any extra noise, I apologize in advance. There's not much I can do about that, but I'm trying my absolute best because we got to get this episode recorded and out. So yeah, that's where I am right now, sitting in the back seat. Got my usual, well, what is now my usual setup. Got my portable desk, my laptop, my microphone, and we're doing what we have to do. So this episode is not book focused. I kind of just felt like talking to you guys and just sharing some updates and some things that are coming in the near future. So of course you guys have seen the title of this episode. I'm going to be taking a short break. When I say break, I mean there will not be a mid-month episode in June. We have this episode that you are listening to right now that came out on the 1st of June. So there will be no episode coming out on June 15th. And I will resume episodes on July 1st going into the fall. So that was kind of a decision that I made not too long ago. I have been thinking about what this podcast has ultimately become for me and, what it has slowly turned into outside of me. And I'm really, proud of myself that I have kept going with this. I try not to think about it too in depth or else I'll get emotional, because I have had a lot of things in my life where, I had an idea and the novelty of the idea got me really excited and, I got started, and then, some challenges would come here and there. Maybe some certain things would come up that I didn't really know how to figure out, or kind of made me a little scared, or, what have you. And then I would just eventually stop, and whatever I was working on would eventually fizzle away. But I had this idea for this podcast, and I started it last September 2021. I picked a schedule that I knew I could commit to, which was twice a month, the 1st and the 15th. I had considered weekly episodes at a point, but I knew at that time that if I said I would do weekly episodes, I would not it would not be sustainable for me at that time. And I'm not quite sure it will still be sustainable for me right now. So I'm sticking to the 1st and 15th of the month, 2 episodes a month right now. But I am working on making more bonus episodes available. You know, I really enjoyed recording an audio of the essay that I wrote last year. And it seemed like some listeners enjoyed it too. So I do have other I do have other essays that I could potentially record. And I have some books, fiction books, that I am planning on reading and writing reaction essays on. So I think in terms of bonus content, that's probably what it's going to be for the foreseeable future, because that's just the only idea I have right now in terms of bonus content. But yeah, I do plan on putting out some more bonus episodes in the fall, at least 2, hopefully, along with the regular, 2 episodes a month that I usually do. But yeah, I'm just thinking about how I have stayed true to this commitment up to now, and I just want a little bit of time to kind of think about how to improve the podcast, how to level it up but still stay committed to what it is, but just trying to take some time to try and figure out how I can make it better. And I put that question out to you guys too, those who are listening. If there's anything you guys want me to particularly talk about, if there are any books you would like me to read so that I can kind of give my own thoughts and opinions on them, if there are any questions, book related or life related, that you guys want me to chime in on, feel free to email me. I mentioned this in the last episode, but it was towards the end. So for anyone who didn't make it to the end of the last episode, I put out a call to listeners who, maybe have a question or want some advice or some opinion on something, anything that they would like my 2 cents on, email me and I will talk about it on the episode. As long as, I will presume that if you email me that you are okay with me reading your email and answering it on the podcast. So I'm definitely open to that. I don't know if I will develop a full-fledged Q&A segment. That can be an idea down the line, but for right now, it depends on if I get anything. But yeah, just wanted to put that out there. I am open to that. If anyone wants to send me anything, please feel free. But other than that, yeah, I just want a little bit of time just to kind of think about where the podcast could potentially go and how I can improve it, and just kind of take stock in what I have done so far, the work that I've done so far, and just see how I can improve it, but still stay true to what the podcast is, because you guys listen for a particular type of content, and I want to be able to remain faithful to that. So yeah, that's what that break will be about. And then I'll come back in July and we will resume into the fall, into the holiday and beyond. And I'm thinking maybe I will have these breaks every year. There'll be 1 month where I just do 1 episode instead of 2, because it's good. Breaks are good. So that's what I'm thinking right now. I came back from Chicago last night. I went to go see my old roommate from nursing school. She and her husband live in Chicago right now. She has become one of my closest friends, and we have thankfully kept in contact since we graduated about a year ago. And I was like, hey, I love Chicago. I've been there more than a few times. Like, I would love to come and see you. So we decided on this weekend, especially since it's a holiday weekend. So I went Friday, took a half day from work, Went Friday and came back last night. So I was there for about 2 days. We took a lot of time and caught up, just talked about life. She's the type of friend where like we can have really long, in-depth conversations about life for hours and we just don't get bored, which is one thing I love. So there was no lack of conversation. There was always something to discuss. And she lives in a beautiful apartment, kind of charming with some old age qualities. And it was very reminiscent of our apartment in Connecticut. So like I came in and kind of felt at home a little bit. The apartment has a very similar layout to our old apartment that we shared. So I kind of walked in and felt at home. I walked to the kitchen. I opened the fridge. Yeah, we ate in the backyard. We talked. There was another friend of ours who was doing a cross-country road trip, so she stopped for the night. So I caught up with her too. And yeah, like even my phone and my iPad connected to the Wi-Fi without even me asking like what the password was. I was like, wow, I am really home because nothing is happening to where like I feel like a guest here. So it was fun. It was fun. I really value my relationship with my friend, and you really have to be a lot more intentional with friendships as you become adults and your lives get busier and day-to-day demands just engulf you and consume you. It's so easy to just have friendships fall by the wayside, and I have committed to not having that happen, to friends who have made it a point to keep in contact with me, So I'm like, you are making the effort to remain friends with me. I'm going to reciprocate that effort. So I was like, hey girl, let's plan a weekend. Let me come visit. She was like, sure. Does this work for you? I was like, sure. So I booked my flight. I initially planned on getting an Airbnb, but I don't know why those prices I was seeing were just like stupid, like ridiculous. She initially was like, just come and stay with us. Like, you don't have to get any accommodations. And I felt like I didn't really want to impose, even though we have lived together before. But I was like, after looking at those rates, I was like, hey girl, is that offer still available? Because I will want to stay with you now. She was like, sure, I understand. So yeah, it was fun. I had a really, really good time. I came back feeling relaxed and kind of like resetted a little bit. I felt like the trip, even though it was short, like about 48 hours, it felt like a little bit of a reset because New York can be crazy. So sometimes you just need to get out. Maybe not everyone is like this, but I certainly am. Sometimes I just need to get out of New York. So I have some time off in July, and I'm actually planning on going to Maryland. I booked a tiny home Airbnb in Maryland for a couple of days in July, which is my birthday month. So I'm looking forward to that. It's in one of those more like nature-y types of areas in Maryland. The Airbnb looks beautiful. I've already been in contact with the host and they seem very nice. So I'm looking forward to that. That's another opportunity that I'm taking to get out of New York and kind of be able to hear myself think a little bit clearer. So I'm looking forward to that, definitely. And yeah, that's what's kind of going on with me right now. So yeah, this episode is intended to be short, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I'll be taking a short break this June. And I just had a few things on my mind too, which I've already shared on this podcast before, especially like with me having graduated a year ago this month. And, I'm big on milestones and I'm big on reflecting like what has happened within those milestones. So, sometimes you might feel like you're not making progress on certain things, but I had to remind myself recently that I feel like this is more true the older you get. Like, you really can't measure progress day to day. I've said this on an earlier podcast, but I don't know why I feel like I need to repeat it. I need to repeat it for myself because I need to hear myself say it to myself. But maybe, there's someone out there who needs to hear it again, or a new listener who needs this message. Like, it can be demoralizing and discouraging to measure progress day to day, because sometimes it feels like you're not making any progress if you're kind of measuring it by that in that way. So I have to kind of remind myself the minimum time frame you need to measure progress is week to week. And sometimes even that is too short. But it depends on what the task is, or what your goal is, or whatever. Sometimes week to week is even too short, but that's the minimum that I need to be measuring progress in my life at this point, because day to day can just kind of almost make you second guess why you're doing what you're doing if you're not seeing progress quickly. So I had to remind myself that, because kind of with my 1-year anniversary of graduating, I'm thinking about where I am as a nurse practitioner, and sometimes I feel like I need to just slow down. I have a lot of ambitions within the mental health field and outside of the mental health field. And sometimes I feel like I need to get everything done yesterday. But I really have to be like, girl, you've only been practicing, even though it's 1 year out of graduating, you've only been actively practicing as a nurse practitioner for 4 months. 4 months, not even 6 months, not even 12 months, 4 months. And there are so many things you still have to learn, so much information that's out there that you still need to absorb, just so much to do. And certain aspirations that I have are not going to come into fruition right now because I'm just not ready. I'm just not in that place, whether it's from a knowledge standpoint or an emotional standpoint or a mental standpoint or a physical standpoint, whatever goals and aspirations I have that I want to have happen sooner than later, it's not going to happen before I'm ready. Because sure, I might want it to happen tomorrow, but if it happens tomorrow, I won't be ready to handle it. And that'll be to my detriment. So I need to I'm trying to remind myself that things take time. Things take time. Life takes time. Progress takes time. It takes time. And time can mean months. Time can mean years. Time can mean decades. And that's sometimes hard to accept. And as I'm speaking into this microphone to you guys, I'm talking to myself too. Time takes time. Time takes time. I guess that's what it boils down to. Time takes time. Life takes time. Progress takes time. And sometimes you just have to stop fighting that. I just have to stop fighting it and just surrender. But as time is going, I'm doing the work. Just because it's slow doesn't mean you stop, Just because the progress is slow doesn't mean you stop. Slow progress is better than no progress. I always try and remind myself of that. Slow progress is better than no progress, because in a year from now, that slow progress, you look back and you're like, wow, I accomplished all of this. Whereas if I stopped at a point, I wouldn't have as much to be proud of. So, I'm thinking about that too. Just have to be patient, but diligent, Do the work, Stay on task, be diligent while you wait for what is meant for you, because what is meant for you is not going anywhere. What is meant for you will find you. And I'm saying this to myself as I speak to you guys as well. What is meant for you guys will find you guys. What is meant for me will find me. It's not going to miss me. It's not going to dodge me. It's not like, it will meet me when it's supposed to, which will be when I'm ready. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for that. What else? I'm still reading The Sex Lives of African Women. I will be making a part 2 on that. I hope to finish that book in a couple of weeks. Myleik Teele, who I follow on Instagram, recommended this book called Life I Swear by Chloe. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the last name, but I will mention it in the next podcast. I will, because I don't have the book in front of me. I will give more details about that book. So I'm reading The Sex Lives of African Women still, about to dive into that other new book. In terms of TV, I don't talk about TV too much because this is a book podcast. This is a book and mental health podcast, but I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about TV sometimes, especially if it's from like a mental health standpoint. I've started the new season of Couples Therapy on Showtime, which is one of my favorite shows. It is about a marriage and family therapist who works in New York City, and she sees couples for marriage therapy. And they have 3 seasons. The 3rd season just premiered, and I'm looking forward to watching that season. The first couple of seasons, they were lacking on the diversity of couples, but it looks like they took that and prioritized that this season. So I'm looking forward to watching all those different types of dynamics between the couples. And maybe on occasion, I'll talk about a couple of the, couples on there. We'll see if it works out. But yeah, that's what I'm watching right now. Just trying to do more reading, just trying to ramp up my reading, be more intentional with my time, not let it slip away from me so easily. That can happen with me in social media. So I'm trying to kind of reel that in. I'm trying to do a little bit more writing. I did mention that there's some books that are fiction that I would plan on writing reaction essays for. So I'm planning on doing that. And summer is here for the most part, but my favorite season is fall. So I will be excited when fall comes around the corner, but I'm not trying to go too far into the future. I'm just kind of, thinking ahead. That's just me. I think ahead, I plan ahead, and it hasn't really worked against me up till now. So there's no harm in doing it as far as I see. That's it. I think that's it for now. I was anticipating this episode wouldn't be too long, but I just wanted to say hi to you guys. I wanted to give you guys some updates. I wanted to share with you what had been on my mind in terms of like goals and time frames and things like that. And I wanted to let you guys know that I will be on a break, but I will be back soon. So with that, I'm going to end this episode here. As always, I want to thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate you all so much. I think within the past month or so, I have gained a significant amount of subscribers to the podcast. I want to welcome everyone who is new within the past 4 to 6 weeks. I hope that you like what you are hearing. I hope you like the content that I talk about, and I hope you keep listening. And I hope you have joined me on this journey long term. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, if you want to reach out to me, whether it's just to say hi or you have something you want me to chime in on an episode, reach out to me at btbwpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's btbwpodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to me on my social media in the episode description. Please rate and review the podcast on your preferred platform, and if it has impacted you in a positive way. Please share, please recommend, please tell people about it if you think that they'll enjoy it. And thank you. I will talk to you guys on July 1st. All right? Be well. Bye.